Education, as we know it, has undergone a sea of changes, and its dynamics are changing every single day. One of which is the emerging changes in the use of technology that have greatly impacted the everyday learning experience. Hello there. Good day, everyone. I am Miss Rochelle Anchongkon of Tobacco National High School, one of the teacher podcasters, and I will share my experiences with you in podcasting. PBL is one of the forefront technologies in change as the latest medium to emerge in the mainstream. It is used as a new way of bridging learning gaps in language teaching and building innovations. Last January 2022, I attended a training workshop on podcasting. Objectives provide a roadmap for achieving your goal. On your screen, you can see the three objectives in our 3-day training. The first objective is to be oriented on the conversion of learning packets in science to digital audio files. The second is to determine what specific learning packets in science can be converted to digital files. And the third one is to develop our own digital audio files. The first day in our training was we started to identify the level of multimodal learning in our division. What is multimodal learning? Multimodal learning is teaching a concept through visual, auditory, reading, writing, and kinesthetic methods. It is meant to improve the quality of teaching by matching content delivery with the best mode of learning from the students. The first step that we did was to identify the level of multimodal learning in our division. The facilitator showed us the different steps of the distance learning ladder. You are in step 1 if your division implements one learning modality. You are in step 2 if your division implements a combination of the two delivery modalities. So examples of LDM combinations are the following: modular learning and online distance learning, modular learning and podcast-based learning, modular learning and radio broadcast learning, modular learning and TV broadcasting learning. You are in step 4 if your division is implementing three learning modalities. Example of LDM combinations are the following: modular learning, online distance learning, and podcast-based learning. Or it can also be modular learning, online distance learning, and radio broadcasting learning. Another one is modular learning, online distance learning, and TV broadcasting. You can be in step 4 if your division implements a combination of 4 learning modalities. Examples are the following: modular learning, online distance learning, podcast-based learning, and radio broadcasting. Or it can also be modular learning, online distance learning, radio broadcasting learning, and TV broadcast learning. So if you're going to assess our division, what kind of learning modalities as to what level are we implementing? Is it step 1, step 2, 3, or step 4? Yes, you are correct. We are already in step number 4. So meaning to say, we are giving the learning modalities that we are applying to our school is already in step 4, or there is a combination of 4 learning modalities. So let us now discuss what is podcasting. So podcasting as a term has evolved through the years. So it came from the two words iPod plus broadcasting. So when we say iPod is a discontinued series of portable media players and multi-purpose mobile devices designed and marketed by the Apple Incorporated. So dun po galing yung term na iPod. And broadcasting, when we say broadcasting, it's a distribution of audio or video content to a dispersed audience via any electronic mass communication medium, but typically one using the electromagnetic spectrum or the radio waves. Okay, so it is one to two many models. So we combined the two terms iPod plus broadcasting. That's why we came up with the term podcasting. So to discuss the basic of podcasting, what are the terms that we need to define or to unlock? So first is podcasting. So podcasting is a type of digital media which allows access to periodic information through downloads or portable devices. Another is the term podcast. Podcast is a digital audio file made available for download on either a computer or a mobile device. And the term podcaster, he or she is a host or the author of the podcast. Podcasting has been around for almost 2 decades. The concept of podcasting was proposed by Tristan Lewis in October 2000. You can see on your screen the top podcast genres, and it is very visible that entertainment has the highest level, which is 57%, and the lowest level is science and technology, which is 33%. So as a science teacher, it is a challenge for us on what we can do on how we can contribute so that the level in podcasting for science and technology will increase. The DepEd Legal Division presented the statistics of podcasting for American users. There are nearly 1 in 4 who listen to podcasts monthly. Of this number, 7% are Gen Z or aged 12 to 17 years old. 44% are millennials aged 18 to 34. 51% of listeners are school age. 15% who listen are high school or elementary levels, and according to them, there is no verified statistics for Philippines users at the moment, but who knows sometime soon. Podcasting in education is an alternative method of learning which develops critical thinking through improved listening skills. So in the field of education, podcasting is very helpful for us so that we can also encourage them to be a critical thinker and a problem solver. Pedagogy is the innovation and practice of podcasting in the education setting with learners as its intended listeners. So, pedagogically speaking, podcasting is a supplemental learning delivery modality which presents learning topics in a form of audio files. Podcasting is a digital audio file created based on learning areas competencies have accessible for convenient online or offline use. So from SLMs to LAS or the learning activity sheets. So here, podcaster is a teacher who may perform any of the roles essential to podcasting, such as an anchor, a script writer, a language editor, or an audio or video editor. So what are the advantages of pedagogy? Pedagogy is new for us, right? So all along we are familiar with the pedagogy, but thanks to the brilliant minds of innovative spirits 20 years ago, we now have the pedagogical podcasting or pedagogy along with education trends. So pedagogy has its own as well. So let us explore. So here are the different advantages of pedagogy. It supports mobile learning. It supports reactive and proactive. It is also inclusive. It promotes independent learning and bi-directional. So, pedagogy, according to this, supports mobile learning. So, what are the different advantages of pedagogy or the use of podcasting? So, number one, it is convenient. So, the information is easily accessible and not limited to anyone or time. It is also engaging because the content interaction can be personalized to facilitate motivation and engagement to students. It is also collaborative. Learners can communicate through online communities such as forums and chats. And another advantages is its bite size. So smaller contents and digestible chunks of information help prevent cognitive overload. And it is also accessible. So the classroom is everywhere and modern workforce is dispersed, allowing for a wider reach. So pedagogy, okay, from the term mobile distance learning or mobile learning is any type of education content which is flexible, portable, and significantly small. Another advantage of pedagogy is it is reactive and proactive. So what are the challenges brought by the pandemic? So reactive and proactive because it will give the learner's needs, and proactive to education and challenges. So proactive to challenges that are that the Department of Education system may encounter in the future, and proactive to do the emerging challenges in education. So podcasting will still be here even the pandemic finishes. So we can still use the podcasting even though the pandemic is already over. Is that it is inclusive. So when we say inclusive learning and teaching, it recognizes all students' entitlement to learning experience that reflects diversity, enables participation, removes barriers, and considers the variety of learning needs and preferences. So example, in a certain class, there could be a mix of gifted auditory and students with disabilities such as ADHD. So there will be no learner to be left behind. The fourth advantage of pedagogy is that it promotes independent learning. So learners develop critical thinking skills and activate higher order thinking skills. So we know that this is one of the sought after 21st century skills. So with the use of the podcasting, the learner can identify what is the most convenient time for him or her to study the podcast that is being sent by the teacher. Another advantage is that pedagogy is bidirectional. So dually serves as a student material and student output. So the teacher can send a podcast where the students will study or learn, and also the teacher can also ask for an output from the student in podcast form. With this definition and different terms that were presented, I am sure that we were able to establish our eagerness in discovering the process and elements behind the podcasting. As I've mentioned before we started the session, a teacher podcaster may have worked on different roles. They can be an anchor, a scriptwriter, or an audio editor. So as presented in the previous discussion, one of the wonders of podcasting is its efficiency in manpower and financial costing. So allow me to work you through the different podcast process. So in podcasting, there should be a team. There is a lead podcast manager, the podcaster, which can be an anchor, a scriptwriter, an editor, and a quality assurance. So under editors, okay, the podcaster will edit language and audio files. On the slide also shows to us the podcasting stages. The first one is the pre-podcasting, the podcasting, then the post-podcasting. The Ligao City Division also introduced to us the different tools in podcasting trade. So in order to achieve a goal of excellence, you need to have the right tools to assist you. And these are the different tools that we need to use in the podcasting modality. So number one is for the script writing. Okay, you need to have the writing gadgets or the equipment, the learning activity sheets, the topic sources, and the cloud storage. Another is the recording. So for recording, the basic, you should have a headphone with microphone, a laptop, and a cell phone. Another optional materials for recording are the following: the condenser microphone, the audio mixer, and then the noise cancelling headphone. So these are very important tools in podcasting. For the design resources, you may use any of the following: MS Word, MS Publisher, Canva, Adobe Photoshop, and Adobe InDesign. And lastly, for publication and distribution, you will be using any of the following: cloud storage, flash drive. You can also store it in CD. You can send it via Bluetooth, via Messenger, or via Telegram. Okay, so those were the different podcasting sessions that we were able to have in our training. So for output, okay, for your output for today in my topic, you are going to choose a topic in quarter 2 where you can apply podcasting. Then briefly explain why you have chosen that topic. So this is the objective number 2, or the second objective, where the teacher will determine what specific learning pockets in science can be converted into digital audio files. Okay, so thank you everyone and enjoy podcasting.